Have you ever wondered how so many companies are able to attract A players to their teams and really build an amazing team? Well, that's exactly what I want to talk about today. And, really some of the lessons that I've learned over the years on doing this the incorrect way so that I could give you the best things that I've learned to be able to do this the right way. When I first started in business and I was starting to hire people, I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I didn't know how to write a job ad, how to do an interview, or really how to do any of the steps to onboard people correctly either. And what I did was my strategy was go to Google, look up the job description, basically copy and paste it onto a job ad, and then cross my fingers and hopefully good applicants came to the table. And I had tons of inconsistency and success, and I would never really get the dream applicants that I was looking to get. And it wasn't until a couple of years ago something shifted. And there are three key things that I've found that need to be added to every job description to be able to set yourself up for success so that you have a rock star job ad so that you can too be adding A players to your company as well. Now let's go ahead and dive right in. So point number one is when you are going to hire people for your company, here's the thing that you have to understand, and this may hurt some feelings. I know it would hurt mine, is when people are going and looking for jobs, they're typically, trying to find the most reputable job or the most, the best opportunity for them that's going to have, job security and an opportunity for growth. And you wonder why companies like Apple or Google or these massive billion-dollar corporations have a super high application rate, a very low acceptance rate to new hire offers, and people flock to these companies. And while tons of people flock to those companies and they get tons and tons of A players all day long because of the brands that they've built, well, what does that mean for you and me? Because I'm not Apple either. So we have to differentiate ourselves in the way that we set ourselves up for the ads that we put out for people so that we can find the very best talent that's going to be able to bring us A players, even though we're not Apple or we're not Google. Now, how do we do this when we're a small company or you're maybe a one woman or one man band doing all of the things and you're just trying to get started? Now, this step in the process is really all about explaining who we are and what we're looking for. And why does this matter? Well, when you think about it, if you go to any normal just job ad online, most of them just have, what is the job, what's the company, a little bit about the company and, salary range and benefits and things like that. And so differentiating ourselves, I've found that when we post an ad up, we'll tell a brief story of our company, of like, okay, this is the company, this is what we're doing, this is where, what we're focused on, creating. So kind of give a brief description of what the company is about and who we are so they could understand who the heck they're applying for. And then the second piece of this within point one here is all around what we're looking for. And this is, really important because if you don't clearly explain what you're looking for in the candidates that you're trying to get to apply, you'll get a plethora of just all sorts of candidates. You'll have some good candidates, some great candidates, some average, poor, terrible. Like you're just going to get a range of all sorts of different candidates. And when you describe what specifically you're looking for in the person that's going to fulfill this role, it's going to allow you to set yourself up for significantly more success. And when you're looking at, setting up your job ad, this needs to be one of the points that must be on there so that you can set yourself up to, lower the amount of applications you get, but heighten the quality that you're getting. Now, I have a question for you, and this is something that's, so common in the workforce is, have you ever started a job and when you started, you didn't really get onboarded, correctly, or you didn't really get explained to you what all of the responsibilities and duties that you must be doing in the role that you're in, and any specific key performance indicators of what you need to do to be successful in the role? Have you ever been in a situation like that? Probably saying yes, because that's what happens in most companies is people get started in a company and they just get kind of told some things they need to do. All right, you're in operations, just kind of like handle the operational stuff and like kind of, help out, make sure sales isn't a mess, and make sure marketing is connecting with what sales is kind of doing, and help make sure the customers are happy. And that's in a lot of ways how most people onboard people into their company, and without defining like really like what their core main responsibilities are. And so what, I typically do and have our companies do when we're hiring is, we establish like what our main three responsibilities are for a role. And so whatever those main three responsibilities are, it's usually like higher level, like maybe it's data management and reporting, and then there's some you add some color underneath that. It's like, all right, from the data management and reporting, you're going to be pulling from working between Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, these multiple platforms, pulling those reports together, creating, reports around our email list growth or whatever it might be. But typically we'll set three main items that are going to be their responsibilities for the role. And then we'll just add some additional color below those three, so that then the candidate can see these are my main responsibilities. And then this just adds a little bit more description underneath of what type of tasks or things need to be done within those three responsibilities. And just to give you a quick example of like what three sample responsibilities are, I'll read directly from one of our operations coordinator roles. We have for this role, the first key responsibility is team building and management. The second one is maintaining quality standards and efficient operations. And the third one is oversee and assist in customer retention. And so obviously there's not a lot of color that's added with those specifically, but I'll give you an idea of like some of a couple of the notes underneath this. Like let's just go to point 2, maintaining quality standards for efficient operations. Point 2. And so here's the kind of descriptor underneath that to give the candidate a little bit more context to that. So it's maintain quality standards throughout the company's operations. This includes developing quality control processes, conducting regular audits to ensure ensure compliance with company standards is met, and ensuring that all employees reporting to this operations coordinator role are trained and competently understand what the standards are so that they can fulfill on these standards. And so obviously, it's not into the nitty gritty detail of every single thing within, the quality. But what this does is it kind of gives the high level overview of what the thing is, and then kind of what is expected within, managing the quality within that role. I would say the third point here is probably my favorite when it comes to adding this into job ads. And this is describing what specifically this person will be like that's working in this role. And I'll give you some examples of this. And the whole goal here, when you're describing what this person is specifically like that would be fulfilling this role, is to polarize people. So you want somebody to be reading your job ad and be polarized to say, hell yeah, or hell no. Because you don't want someone that just reads it and they're like, I could maybe do that job. Like, that's cool. I guess I could figure that out. You really want them to be stoked to work with you or not want to work with you at all. That's my entire goal whenever we're hiring. So I'm going to go ahead and read just a couple examples for you just to give you an idea of like what this looks like. Let's go back to that operations coordinator role and give you a couple examples. And so what this looks like tangibly is you're writing, literally on the document, what will our operations coordinator look like? And then you're writing who you are. And so here's a couple examples. So I'm writing these down with the hopes that this person that is going to read this is going to be excited and relate or be against it. So who you are. Someone that is ready to get in the driver's seat to move initiatives forward and embody the we are results-oriented core value. You are excited about identifying operational inefficiencies and creating and implementing new, more efficient ways of operating. You're an innovative problem solver. You ask yourself regularly in life, what else can I do? How can I be better? How can this be accomplished? What else is possible? How can I continue to improve? So that's, a couple just lines on what I have under who you are. The who you are not is also important. So a couple lines on this that I have written for this specific role is, who you are not. someone who consistently makes excuses. Someone who is looking for just another job that is the status quo with lots of red tape and just wants to live and fit in a box. Someone whose main objective in life is just to achieve work-life balance. So the purpose of, again, writing these out on the job ad is, again, to polarize the audience that is reading it so that you are able to filter through and find only the best and the most excited and relatable to what you're trying to build with your company. Now, when we're looking at, just an overall recap, there's a lot to unpack here. And this is probably one of those episodes where you might have to go back, sit down at your desk, get a piece of paper out and, be noting these things down, or grab your computer notes and, be taking some notes on, actually implement these things into your business. But, just a quick recap, when we're looking at this, we're looking to write in our job ad who we are and what we're looking for in the role. We also need to make sure that within the role, we have the three main job responsibilities that this person is going to be responsible for taking care of, and then add a little bit of color and context to those three main responsibilities to show just a little bit more about what has to be done within the role. And the final one, which is my favorite, is all about polarizing who you're looking for, which is describing who you are and then who you are not within the role, so that you're able to get people really excited to come work for you. Now, I understand when you're listening through this information, it's, you might be a visual learner and might want to just be able to look at a sample of what this, should look like or how it could look like if you were going to do this for your business. And so if you want to get access to a job ad that, we use within our companies, you can go and head over to connectwithcody.com, head over to the resources section and download an example for yourself. So with that, we'll see you in the next episode.